Hey y'all. So I guess I'm hopping back on here again. I don't know where we're taking this kind of lunchtime pop-ups, but it's my lunchtime and I'm sharing again what we were me and Abba were kind of just working through this morning. So one of the things that I kind of pray about almost daily is basically to be okay being different, not just for me but like for other people that are around me that I can just see that being a issue with. And so he brought to my remembrance, and we all familiar with this particular verse, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And that's First Peter 2 and 9. But it's one that a lot of First Peter chapter resonates with me, but this one is another one of those ones that resonate with me because I've had to kind of be okay being different or being called to different places or stepping outside of, you know, what would be considered like the norm. And if you ever find yourself and you're like hanging out with people and you're like, it just don't quite fit, like it just don't quite fit, and you know what that feeling feels like. Yeah, it maybe it's not meant to fit. you know Maybe it's not meant to fit. And I like this verse, and I'm gonna just highlight a few things that were highlighted to me. And the first thing was that ye are, because that means it's present, it's current, it's not something you're becoming, because it is part of you. So if you find yourself being peculiar, not being able to explain it, it's just how you were designed to be. And so then the second part that was highlighted to me was that being chosen. So ye are a chosen generation, which means your very existence, not just your makeup or your DNA, your spiritual DNA, your physical DNA, but it was intentional. It was intentional, your existence in the timeline of life, of humanity and this world, this present world, was very intentional. And so I'm a 90s kid. And I think I came up at the perfect time, right? And I know a lot of us can say that, especially the further in time we get. And I'm sure as our kids and family members grow up, they will probably feel the same. They'll be like, I remember when. And they can glean from the old and the new. And I think a lot of people kind of cling to like the 80s and the 90s just out of like nostalgia right now, or the Y2K era. I know that's been real popular in social media and trying to cling to those generations, but it was intentional that you were in this generation so you can reach a particular people, the people that you're also called to reach and minister to. And that's when we get to the royal priesthood. Now, in the Black community, we're good about calling each other kings and queens, and or calling our kids princesses and prince, but it's literal. It's literal. So if you think of God as or Jesus as the King of Kings, right? And his whole sacrifice was so that we can be grafted into the family of God. right? Then by very definition, you are also royal. You are literally royal. You are princesses and prince and kings and queens. But then it's paired with the word priesthood, which means we are called, as in all believers are called to do what I'm doing. I don't know. Not do what I'm doing, but like speak to people, minister to people, tell the testimony, tell the good news, evangelize, so to speak, in like their own way. Whether that's you in the classroom interceding for your students, or you driving the bus, or you working in social services, or being a judge in the courtroom, or being on the streets helping those hand and mouth to help people that are homeless. Wherever you may find yourself, and whatever it is that you're doing in the secular part of the world is also an extension of your priesthood, your ministry. And so yeah, that leads me to the next, and because he gives us several adjectives all in one singular verse. A holy nation, which means you are a whole person. You are called to be whole, and you are called to be set apart, and you are called to be unified, because a nation is not just a singular person, but you are not alone in this life. And a peculiar people. And I know the Black American experience, we can find ourselves saying, like, why is it always us, right? Like, why is it always us that gets the short end of the stick type of thing? Or why is it always us that's got to lead a particular civil change? Or why is it always they're looking to us on how we're going to react to this war, or that war, or this disagreement, or this political stance? And it's because we're called to be peculiar, to stand out from amongst the crowd. And I think, and even when you look at how we were designed, even just physically, like literally you can have the whole spectrum of browns in one particular people, and have the whole spectrum of hair textures, from straight to wavy to curly to hair that stands up and literally towards the sun like its own flower. I'm just saying, you're called to be peculiar. You're called to be different, and it's okay. And instead of looking at that as a deficit in life, I know I've had to learn to look at it as an opportunity, or look at it as it walking in leadership, wherever I am, whether I am serving street side, or serving in an office, or serving wherever, we're called to be peculiar or different. And then we get to this last stanza that says that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And when you think about things that are dark, it's like unclear. And so if you find any area of your life that still needs a little more light, don't be shocked. And I think that he uses marvelous to bring about wonder. Like, I think we miss that a lot of the time, especially in Western cultures, like the awe of who God is and who he wants us to be. But sometimes the light can be a little daunting. And that's understandable, because not everything that gets illuminated once the light comes on is good. It's just like when you walk into a room and let's say it's a house you ain't never been to, and say a friend invites you over and they cut the light on, but you've never been to their house. You don't know how they keep it, if they keep it clean, or if they keep it dirty, or if it's just kind of like lived in, or if it's empty. But once they flick the light on, you can kind of see all of those different things, and you can see kind of how their mind is operating currently. or if they need a little help with cleaning up certain areas of their life or certain areas of their space, because definitely your space can be a reflection of what's going on the inside. And so I think that's been like the main thing I've gotten out of today's conversations. And then one other thing I wanted to highlight about the marvelous light is that it was there from the beginning. So if you read in Genesis, literally that's like the first thing God says, and he doesn't, it's not, he's saying light be, he didn't say or let there be light, depending on which translation you're using. But regardless, it wasn't created, it was. And we've seen that Jesus is compared to the light, and he calls us to be light also. And another point of reference, if you are just interested, that was Genesis 1 and 3. And then calling us to be light, we can find that in Ephesians 5 and 8, but also in, like, I forget where it is, it's in Matthew. But yeah, that's everything. Anyways, this was just impromptu. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, Junior. When I tell you, your girl is so looking forward to the end of the work week. But crazy thing is, we are in overtime till the end of the month. So anyways, y'all have a wonderful day. Let me stop rambling.